Format for tonight, are we still waiting outside to be called in?
You can come in, I suppose.
Yeah, distancing, I guess there's
Yeah.
enough room there tonight.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty
stay
empty
separate.
tonight, yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
We all set, Alan? Okay, let's begin. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is October 14th, regular planning board meeting. And we'll take attendance as soon as Carrie gets back. I'll take attendance. All right. Myself, here. John Horn. Here. Joanne, absent. Alan, absent. Art.
Here.
Here. Sam.
Here.
And Vivian.
Here.
Um, I don't see anyone here from Maidstone, the Orem project.
We're here for the.
Oh, you are. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I thought you were.
Yeah, here's
following.
Matthew and.
Oh, hi. Okay.
Yeah, the others are on the way.
So I assume you guys are looking kind of just for an update. We're just trying to currently set up a site visit with the engineer to get out there. They've begun the review process.
We have that retainer check also, can I drop that?
Yes, yep.
Is Carrie here?
Yeah, just stick it right in the pink folder there.
Yep, thank you.
No problem. And they've currently begun. So you'll be contacted about a date. They'd like to get up there and take a look at the site.
Okay.
Just trying to coordinate with us and them and then you guys.
May I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening. So, have the Orem rooms started working? Have they reviewed it?
They're working on it currently. They're just trying to set up a site visit between.
Great.
They're trying to coordinate schedules with us, and you'll be contacted. Within like the next. We're looking at like in about a week or something.
Good. And
We're trying to do it before the next meeting.
And has the consultants confirmed with the board at all on the seeker process in terms of the lead agency or moving forward with some of those procedural things which we had made submissions about when we first here? Have they said anything to you about seeker and moving forward with the lead agency on seeker?
I'm not sure I follow. We signed the lead agency stuff, and they're reviewing it and getting ready to submit their findings to us. I think we're.
Okay. So I understand though that you would prefer that we not speak to them directly?
Yeah, no, they'd like it just to maintain an arm's length. It'd be best to go through us. Yeah, going forward. Yeah.
Okay. So that's why I guess I'm asking whether or not the Austin County Health Department and the DEC and New York City DEP, whether they received the package of material that was submitted to you for seeker. And I know you're saying they reviewed it, and that's good, of course. But that's, we'd just like to know procedurally if that procedural step has started. But of course, when we're out on the site visit with them, we can ask them about that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that should be very soon. I'll ask them though.
Okay, well, so from the planning and application perspective, we don't have anything more to say, but I think, would the board want to hear, and we might like to get on the record, a presentation about what we've been doing in the few months that, since we've submitted the application, because we've been working on the project, and the engineers and the architect have been out there improving the plan, and doing some of the preliminary work associated with establishing the water capacity and what measures would have to be done to the well in order to accommodate development, and what would have to be done septic-wise and stormwater-wise. So, and the engineers have been working, they've been talking to the agency, and it might be helpful for the board to just hear what they've been up to for a few minutes.
Sure.
Okay. So, you want me to just give them a comment? Thank you.
I'm Cyril, the architect. Have been working, we prepared an entire septic system design for the total project. We submitted to the Ulster County Health Department. We've been working with Tony Puccio, who's the reviewing engineer. And he's reviewed, I sat and met with him, submitted the drawings, paid the fee, filled out the application, reviewed the project with him. He came back with some comments. I made those comments and resubmitted. So we're anticipating approval on that pending some perk tests and deep tests. The design was based on an assumed percolation rate. If we get that rate, we can make improvements to the soil by bringing in gravel and that type of stuff. We're also looking at a possible package treatment facility for the whole project. Got an engineer working on that also. We're also, we reviewed the existing water system at the property. That's able to process 5,000 gallons per day of clean water. We're slightly over that as far as the gallonage usage is concerned. So we might be doing a couple more wells up on the top of the hill and a small capacity plant up on top of the hill. But that's where we are now, and we're making progress on that. So
Excellent.
we'll have final approval on septic by the next meeting, and also possibly on the water system.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And our next meeting's November 4th. And it's a little unusual with the elections.
If I may, I have a quick question.
Sure.
So, as we go further along, you've worked with this consultant before. Do they submit memos to you, sort of listing concerns or questions that we, the applicant, get copies of? Do you recall if that was how it was done in the past?
I mean, we'll go through, once they're gonna submit their findings to us, and then they'll be at the meeting, and you'll be at the meeting, and we'll all, they'll present them, to you and us at the same time.
Okay, so that's the answer is yes, there'll be some kind of written document.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like, dribs and drabs of it. It's gonna be
Right,
like, here's what we found, here's what we think.
Great.
Hoping to have something at that next meeting. That's the
Okay, good.
plan.
And that'll be after the site visit, obviously.
After the site visit.
Okay, good. Is there anything else that you guys want to,
Yeah, Eric will give us a list, give a little update on stormwater.
stormwater?
Sure.
Good evening, my name is Eric Chastain, civil and environmental engineer on the project. Just wanted to let you know that we have some innovative and standard designs for this site. The developers are going to look for a very natural, minimalist design, and we want to keep that in mind with every facet, the stormwater being one of them. So we're going to design some infiltration and have permeable roads, parking lots, pathways, roads, have the rain filter in back to the site as per regulation, not let anything else flow off the site that is currently part of the natural site. You don't want to impact the SOPIS or the reservoirs. So that's a big part of the design, and it's something that we'll keep in mind for the stormwater pollution prevention plan during construction, and then for the site as it will exist after construction. Are there any questions?
at this time.
All right, thank you very much.
Matt, do you want to give anything on the environmental assessment update, or probably not at this point?
I guess the other, last question that I would have would be, they're reviewing the product submission, but they're also reviewing the environmental.
Yes.
document too.
Yes.
Okay, nothing further to talk about secret. We know that we're waiting for talking to the consultant. And we'll see him on site, and we'll be able to ask him some procedural questions, which will be very good. And then we'll see you, looking forward to seeing you again on November 4th. Does your consultant, at a meeting like that, will the consultant be here?
The November 4th?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I believe they'll be here November 4th.
Okay, great.
We're looking at setting up a meeting, site visit possibly on a weekend. Would somebody be able to attend that from your party?
Yeah, we'll accommodate. How is that going to be coordinated? Is that going to go through your office, through Carrie, or are they going to come?
Yeah, it'll probably come
Okay,
from
we just need to
me
give
or
it
Carrie.
at least a 48-hour heads up.
Oh, yeah, it'll be further
So
than
we
that.
can schedule that, and then we can be there.
Yeah, I'm fine. I only live like 5 minutes away, well,
Okay,
10
perfect.
minutes. Okay, good. That'll be great. So board members will be on that site visit as well?
Yeah, we're just trying to, we all work. It's
So
hard
you
to-
like,
Yeah, weekends are the
will you be a quorum, or will you be less than a quorum?
It'll be less than.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I think we're set. I appreciate the time. And I know we're working through some procedural things, and I look forward to working with you and having you a good review.
Great.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
What are you guys here for?
We're just here to see how it works. We're just watching.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, is there somebody else I can?
The mask make it
Yeah,
hard
we'll
to
be
tell
ready next time.
who's who. No worries.
Well, we have a planning session, workshop.
We have a workshop coming up on the 28th, I believe.
Whether if you have a project or something that, you're trying to find out about, and you have questions and you want to, like, ask before an actual meeting, what is it?
You can come on up, Don.
There's a workshop that the planning board also has where you can come and you can just like ask them questions about stuff.
That's great. When is that?
You could just give our office a call.
Okay.
You could say you want to come to the workshop and let us know.
Okay.
Which one is the first one?
Widneski's on the
Great, thank you.
schedule first.
And I'll let you know.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so this one should look familiar. We just went through all the trouble with getting it all approved. I was just waiting for, just picked up the tab certificates in order to get it filed. And Mr. DeSaro, who's the second party in this boundary line adjustment, came in to sign it, and he said, that's not what we agreed to. So, went back and put it to where he said that he and Howard Wadinsky agreed to. Talked to Howard, he said, fine. So, that's what you have in front of you is what they. So the only the difference is, last time, this little portion here was included. This line came down here. Now it's coming straight up. This is the difference. This was with that before, now it's not. Doesn't amount to anything.
So the meets and bounds are remaining the same? The exterior line?
Yes. Yep, this is just the only change.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of there, it's here. See that, Sam?
No.
Instead of here,
Uh-huh.
it's here.
Okay, got it.
So how far along have you gone with this already? The first one? Did you go to the county and everything?
I was all set to file at the county.
but I needed DeSarno's signature on there. When he came in, that's when he said, that's not right,
So it's not too late.
No, I mean, it's, I had everything lined up, ready to file it, and we just want to file the right map, what they agreed to. So, but I'll need your signature again, because the map is different.
All right, I guess, I mean, it's still, so it never happened, it's just a change to what we previously approved. I don't see any, we still don't see any issues with it. Anybody have any comments to make about the, okay? And I just need a motion to approve.
Yeah, I'll second it. Did you make a motion?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll second it.
Wait for Charlie.
What's the secretary?
Yeah, she'll be back. All right. Maybe we'll wait for her.
You want to come up with the second one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
second one is, Tom Crusade. He has his house, his office is in his house, he's got the motel. It's all on one lot. Each one has its separate water source. It's village water, but they each got their own line. They each got their own septic. And so what Tom would like to do is separate the two. They put the hotel with its parking on one lot and his house on the other. The problem I saw right away was that, well, it's making a non-conforming lot. They're small. So that's why I gave you the other sheet to show you the acreages of all the lots on that block on that side of the road. So he's not changing the neighborhood at all. Most of the lots are less in acreage than what he's proposing to do. So I wasn't sure how the planning board wanted to handle that, because I know in the past, when it's agreed with the neighborhood, we've gone ahead and approved things. Otherwise, it would have to go to the zoning board for variance. It's up to the planning board how they want to handle that.
Well, what is the reason that he wants to make the change?
Well, he doesn't want, he wants the motel to be on its own lot, so that, you know, as far as taxes and as far as, you know, he's got his residence, he's planning on retiring at some point, so he would like to get everything, you know, straightened up for the records. There's no sense in having it in one lot.
Is the ZBA having regular meetings again?
As far as I know, I talked to Mark yesterday, and I don't think they're gonna have one this month. I don't know why. A couple of them can attend, as far as I know, but I don't think there's gonna be a CBA this month.
Did you guys want to do a roll call on that last one?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
We motioned, Sam for the, Wadensky lot line adjustment. Sam moved to approve, Art seconded. We didn't vote yet, we were waiting for it.
Did you all get the, wait for the roll call?
I took attendance. Before you were gone.
I know, I was like, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so now I just do roll call, is that what we're up to?
Roll call vote,
Okay.
yeah.
Let me say your last.
Rebuffo.
I know, I always say it wrong. Clerk Buffo,
Yes.
John,
Me, John, yeah.
and Art,
Yes.
Sam.
Yes.
Vivian?
Vivian. Vivian.
Oh, I'm sorry, and Vivian.
Yes.
Okay, so did everybody get the extra sheets I sent just to show the acreage of the lots?
I don't have that.
This, is it this?
It's
John?
stapled to that tax map copy.
And then
This
this
guy?
one.
that either. Oh, the wrong folder?
Yeah, I thought you were sitting here while you were putting
So the acreage is on the second.
You got it.
Yes.
See, those are all those lots along that side of the Shepherd Street. You see on the tax map, those are the acreages. Just to give you an idea of. This motel lot will be 0.21 acres, and as you can see, it's actually larger than most of the lots along that street. So it's not any big change with the neighborhood lots.
What's the septic situation?
Each has their own septic. The motel septic is located somewhat under that parking lot. The house septic is there where you see the corner of the fence in the backyard.
Okay. What about the well, the water?
The water is village water.
It's village water.
So what is your question, why he should see zoning?
Is there-
No, I wasn't sure how the planning board wanted to handle it because the lot size is smaller than the zoning, I believe.
Yeah, when you,
They're undersized.
let's just look in the district schedule area and bulk regulations. That's Hamlet residential there?
Yeah.
Okay, Hamlet residential is .67 of an acre if you have central water.
Right. So, is it
half
point
that.
two?
So how are you making these lots are gonna meet the standard without problems?
No, you're half that. You're at point.
.2.
0.67. You're at 0.75 now.
Oh, okay.
And we're splitting that in half.
.319. I looked at the right there, .210.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gotta be 0.65.
.67.
Yeah, or 0.67.
It equals .529, right?
Well, together, yeah.
What am I missing?
Yeah, then it's 0.75 to begin with and then becomes
the new lots are gonna be 0.319, and the other lot's gonna be 0.210.
I see.
That's what I don't understand.
So I think the math
That adds
doesn't
up
add
to
up.
0.529, so that's why
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two together don't equal 0.529.
Not 0.75.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I just do the math. Oh, is there something that says that?
You have, on the application, you have 0.75 for the
Oh,
1
okay,
acre.
I'm sorry.
That's,
My secretary,
That's
filled out
just a mistake.
that portion of the.
is it on the map somewhere here, the total?
The total?
Yeah.
No. But that's the total if you add these two on the map. The map's correct. Sorry about that. She may have taken it off of the tax map, yeah.
So Cliff, my question is, I mean, it's keeping with the neighborhood character.
Yeah.
It's an existing use, there's no change, but are we empowered to make a non-conforming lot worse?
You're not really supposed to do that if you can avoid it. Especially only us having regular meetings.
There's a section in the ordinance, I don't know where it is right now, that says deemed similar in nature to the surrounding houses.
I mean, I know for setbacks and stuff, there's that, and then for, I know there is something for the lot size, but. You know, John, what do you think? Any opinion on this?
Well, I had another question, but,
Sure.
I'm just wondering why you calling this a motel when I would not have called it a motel. It's a little apartment building. I don't suppose it was ever approved as a motel or?
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure what's in there. To tell you the truth, I really can't say. I don't know.
It was a motel at one time, and I believe it's been carried on that way.
Yeah, I think it's been listed as a motel. So that's what I listed it as.
So,
How long people stay in those rooms, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a multi-unit that would be splitting off on its own now. It's, quite a bit smaller.
It's been there for,
No, I know, I know it's been there for a long time. I don't even know if it's conforming now, as it
the
is.
repelling tower is gone, as you can see on the map.
so it's Hamlet residential or Hamlet commercial?
Hamlet residential.
Would that be, the motel be approved for Hamlet residential?
Yes, it is.
It would? It wouldn't matter whether it was a motel or a multifamily residence?
No, and it's been existing, Vivian,
Oh,
for
it's grandfathered.
25 years.
Okay.
It probably predates the zoning.
Oh, it sure
Oh,
does.
yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does.
So, let me just look at a hypothetical. Let's say the lot line did not exist, which is the current situation. And let's say he sells to a new owner but wants to expand the commercial operation on that lot. Would there be a problem with him doing that? If there's no lot line? And if there is a lot line, would that change the use potential of the house lot?
Well, the way he's doing it now, it makes it clear that there'd be two separate entities. One would be the motel and one would be the
Right,
house.
I'm thinking that might make things easier in the future.
Yeah,
So
now
that
if
he
he ever
couldn't make
wanted,
the whole lot into a commercial operation.
exactly, if he ever wanted to come back and change either one, then he would have to go through the whole process all over again. You know what I mean? It wouldn't just
Right.
give him carte blanche.
Right, I think that would be an advantage of having the lot line.
Yeah, of splitting it.
I don't see anything wrong with splitting this. I mean, it's existing.
I mean, it would be permitted, with under special permit in that area, in that zoning.
Are there any setback issues?
Well, they're existing, so, I mean, as far as the new lines,
Yes.
as far as the new lines,
But that's not gonna.
no, there's no,
We're not, it's not
That's not,
creating a
yeah,
setback issue.
no. I mean, looks like there's enough in between.
right. I made sure that the little sheds there, they can come down and be removed if they needed to be, but they're small shed.
So the distance from that interior corner of the new lot line and the exterior corner of the building meets setback requirements?
Yes, yes.
Was it about 20, 25 feet or so?
Those sheds would be about 10 feet. They'd be the same as a garage.
Oh, really?
Well, they're those small, they're considered movable. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I think is it, help me, is it 8 by 10 or 10 by 12 now? That you don't even need a permit for a shed, you know? It's one of those. It used to be 8 by 10.
Yeah.
That you didn't even, it wasn't required to have a
I
permit.
think it's 10 by 12 now.
10 by 12?
Because I think we were talking
Yeah, I
about-
thought it was changed to 10 by
10 by
12 as
12,
well.
I believe.
So there you go.
So, Don, I'm puzzled about this chain link fence that's going diagonally. What is the purpose of that now?
Probably
And how would that-
to keep his dog
That was for his
in there, but he's gonna change all the fencing
Uh-huh.
as soon as this is approved, I mark the new property lines, he's going to change the fencing,
Okay.
fence it incorrectly. Yeah, it's kind of like just a rickety fence he's got there, that's chain link.
And is that a driveway at the top of?
Yes,
property?
that's a driveway for the house to go back to the garage. There also is a parking area down below there that his secretary parks.
Oh, on the very bottom of the
Yeah,
property.
he has his office in his house.
I didn't see this being an issue there.
I'm comfortable with that. My only question was if we're allowed to approve it because we're making it more non-conforming.
I mean, we have had stuff like this come up in the past where it's just kind of a mess that we're cleaning up.
Yeah.
But as I recall, those were kind of like existing multiple lots and we were adjusting.
Yeah,
And we
it's
were-
not out of character.
On balance, it was
Right.
making an improvement in one.
And it's in harmony with the houses right next to us, and
Yeah.
they're the same size.
Mhm. Well, again, it fits the character, I'm comfortable with it, I just don't know if we have the power to approve that, because it's becoming
Let's make a
non-conforming.
motion. I'll make a motion.
Okay, there you go.
I'll second it.
We just
All right,
gotta make a decision,
roll
folks.
call vote?
Cliff,
Yes.
John,
Yeah, I think if we approve it, that whether we allowed to or not, once we approve it and it's filed,
Well, now,
it's done.
That's correct.
this is a subdivision. So, this is a subdivision, so it's not, so we have to have a public
We have
hearing.
a public hearing, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But we're making a motion now for it to carry on to the next step.
Yes.
so you asked for the hearing for next.
Yeah, we got it, yes, yeah.
So we didn't approve it,
We didn't approve it.
Right.
We approved it to go to the next step.
Preliminary approval.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be on November 4th for the public hearing?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, November 4th, 6:45. Does that work for everybody? Can everyone get here?
Yeah.
A little early?
Okay.
I still want to know why do we start?
Why don't we start early?
15 minutes.
Would you rather
early?
start it at 7?
I've never heard a reason.
Because nobody gets here on time. We'll be here at 7 anyway.
Is that a yes or a no, John? You want-
Some of those public hearings can last hours.
Yeah, it's so we're not here till 9:30 at night, that's what my understanding is every time.
Oh,
Yeah. Because I'd like to go.
6:45, not 7.
6, yes.
I object.
You want to do it at 7?
No, I'm just wondering, I've never heard a reason why we started.
Well, that's the reason, so
That's
so our meetings don't run too long.
Okay.
6:40,
Okay,
6:45.
thank you.
John agrees under protest.
Okay. So 6:45 it is. So I guess Dale's not showing up, nobody's here for Dale, so do you want to just discuss it, or we don't have to, or how is that?
It's the same thing, it's under review
Okay.
by the consultant engineer.
Okay.
We're trying to set up site visits with them as well.
That letter though, how is it something to me, it has to be signed? Who signs that, if you don't mind me asking? Did you sign that? That letter that I showed you, your Dale?
Yes. Oh, sorry, Val, my mistake.
You're confusing me.
Yeah, I know, with everything else, Val. So Val, the restaurant project that's happening across from the Phoenicia Diner, their year is up, and they just requested a renewal, just, due to COVID and everything, they didn't do anything this year, and I think it's extenuating circumstances. We're just renewing what we approved previously, there's no changes, that's it,
So then.
I don't see that as an issue, yeah. Anybody else, any comments? Anything? Okay, I'll make someone make a motion to
I move we approve
to
it.
renew.
Second.
Extension.
Second, we should vote.
Now, what's going on with this Hillary Smith letter?
Hey, let's finish this first, please.
We should talk about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Take the-
No, let's vote on this, yeah.
Cliff,
Yes.
John,
Yeah.
Art,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
and Vivian.
Yes.
I guess, and I'll sign that down to your
Okay,
question.
that's it, okay.
Yeah.
This is from Franklin, so this goes downstairs. Now, I put in everybody's folder the letter from, New York City about the Orem, just so everybody can see what's going on with that. I don't know if everybody needed to or not, but that's what's going on with that. And Cliff, just a question, I know we're next on, but that's the way the procedure works. Nobody, like all the applicants are not to call,
Yeah, that was just for submitting to,
right,
yeah,
but you
for
don't
like
want
kind of.
correspondence between the applicants and.
Correct, yeah, that was for the initial data dump, no.
But even to now, you don't want him corresponding over the phone until they actually meet here, correct?
Yeah, well, they'll be speaking on site.
On site, but not right now yet, right? Because Mr. Rudikoff keeps asking if he can call, and I'm like,
No, we could just, I think you were upstairs, he asked me.
Okay.
And I told him, no.
okay. Because I kind of said, don't call the engineer every day, what's going on, because.
They're busy.
Yeah, I think Clifton squared that away.
I think he should,
Oh, okay, I'm
yes, no,
sorry, I
it's
just
very,
wanted to double check that.
yeah, he asked, I said no.
Okay.
Very,
So I just figured I'd check on that one. He's still up there. What is there? I could say that I can't. You know what I'm trying to say.
thing? Oh, the Hill, we should talk about that, the Hillary Smith letter. Do we have any copies of that anywhere?
I don't even know what that is.
I didn't bring it with me. But there were two big things. One was that we needed professional consultation advice for doing secret, so we can respond and say, yeah, we have that now.
Yes.
But the other, I could not follow what she was saying. There was an inherent contradiction between zoning and floodplain management, and that needed to be resolved. So,
And I think, when I saw that letter, Sam, I think that most of the questions that she was asking were being answered. We just haven't gotten to it yet. So she had gone beyond us, you know, in front of us. But the engineers that are looking into it are gonna be addressing these
Yeah,
situations.
she brought up-
Did you go down to site plan?
when we did the
Tracy?
failed public hearing, she brought it up there. You're not empowered to approve in a floodway.
Yeah.
So it seems to be a continuation, and I do think we do need to give it a response. To not respond is, I think, not the right thing to do. Somebody should. The letter went to Rob, right?
The letter went to Rob, yes.
Yeah, so Rob's floodplain administrator.
Now, I wanted to put a chart, like I do everything, as to what she said, this is this, and that's that, and there's the contradiction. But you didn't see that?
I have to read it really carefully and then look at the books and see exactly. I was hoping maybe somebody here had a feel for what she was talking about, because I would have to do the research. I'd have to read everything she's pointing out.
I think you'd have to ask Rob. I mean, he went to.
Because he's the flood.
Yeah, I mean, it was a, very involved process. It's not something.
Did you want to talk to him about it, say that we discussed it here and that he needs to give her a response? We're more than happy to
I
give
can
him
reach
our
out
advice,
about
but.
that. Yeah, yeah.
See, all these things happen in a certain order. And
Yeah, I mean, I think most of it was, like you said, she just got ahead of our process. It wasn't, I mean, she was speaking as if we had approved these things in the letter, and that's just not the case.
So what is the process from now until when a veil is actually complete? What is left to be done on our end?
We've approved them, they just need a building permit.
Okay.
I don't know if they've applied for one, I don't believe they've even applied for a building permit, right? We were set to apply, yeah.
Well, that's when the
Which is what?
floodplain issue is gonna come up again with Howie.
Yeah.
And he's gonna refer it to Rob, and it's gonna come up again.
Well, we approved them on the basis of criteria that they met.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I don't know if she's aware of that.
Yeah, because they got the no rise certificate, as I recall.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, we talked, they had a fence the first time, and they took the fence away. We talked about, that the house was out of it, if I remember, going back a ways now, it could be.
Yeah, and I think they said that they're not going to expand it as much as they were originally thinking.
Yeah, they had scaled everything down from their initial.
Okay.
I don't know about the letter that you're talking about.
It's, yeah, you weren't either, it's across from the Phoenicia Diner.
Oh, I know.
Hillary Smith sent a letter to Rob that she gave to Cliff.
I don't think you saw it.
Recall.
Yeah, you didn't see it.
No. If it goes to Howie, a lot of times I don't see.
No, it didn't even go
Oh,
to
okay.
Howie, it just went to Rob.
Oh, okay.
So there is not going to be any engineer review or environmental evaluation for that project?
So they gave us a letter from the engineer,
Okay.
and actually, Vivian, it's being built on a bump. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it did seem strange that it'd be so close to the flood, where it actually is going to flood.
Yes,
So-
it does seem strange.
Uh-huh. But whatever criteria they met must have been provided by some agency. But I'm not sure. Maybe Hillary is trying to find that out, is what was the source of the criteria that we used.
They had an engineering certificate.
Yeah, they did. And I don't think Hillary made any mention of Vail specifically in her letter. It was about, as I remember, it was an inherent contradiction she claimed between, I think, zoning rules and maybe flood rules, and that, we might get ourselves into difficulty approving based on one set of rules that contradict another. She was pointing out, in her opinion, an inherent contradiction. I don't know, I haven't read it in the code to see if she's right, but it seems to be, we just should tell Rob this needs a response.
Yeah, yeah, just ask him to look into it.
I think she represents, she's somehow involved with Dale, maybe I'm wrong.
She wasn't their representative, no. All right, yeah, I'll reach out to Rob about that. Does that sound good to everybody?
Yeah, I would like to learn more about the whole question, and because it's probably going to come up again.
Sure. All right. What's the other thing?
That's it.
Firelight, they're not. Just got a letter from the DEP about Firelight Campground, just acknowledging our intent to be the lead agency. Then we got a letter from the DEP regarding Orem. They're saying that they're an involved agency. Based upon review of the submitted documents, they had a few comments for our consideration. The preliminary plans provide an overview of the project layout depicting or referencing some erosion and sediment controls and stormwater management. But considerable detail will be required for a formal SWPPP submittal to the DEP. The design consultant is urged to consult the relevant guidance material for the required level of detail in the plans and report. That's all I got. Report.
I think we're missing stuff. 'Cause
I think we're missing
The one
stuff.
that says the
It's a
Orem
parenthesis that ends.
has a page 1 and a page 3.
That's all that they sent me.
And the one regarding Firelight has a page that ends the following comments for consideration.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing else.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that came in the mail this morning. So
Really?
That's
They're
exactly
easy
how it
comments.
I put a call into them as soon as I opened it, and that's all I got.
So,
Good for you.
That's why I stamped it, I'm like, I got it.
that's all she wrote. All right. And the only other thing I know about is, because Vivian was filling the remainder of Don's position, which ends at the end of this year, we have to run an ad for applicants for the full 7-year term, and I assume you want your name. So Vivian will be one of the applicants.
Did you say 7 years?
Oh, yes. Yes, I did.
Sounds daunting, doesn't
So I
it?
had to make sure you.
Yeah, I know, I said 7.
Time off for good behavior.
Time off for coming to your senses.
And that starts, what, January 1st?
January 1st, yes.
Okay.
So you just have to run an ad
Yep.
for that. No. the
Spoke-
free bid.
Yeah, we spoke, this morning.
Okay, good. And anything else, anybody?
I missed the Ulster County Planning Board meeting because the windstorm knocked out my internet, so no report. And actually, if we have a November 4th meeting here,
Yes.
I'm going to miss the next meeting as well,
Okay.
and so will Sam.
Is that the county?
No,
County.
I'm not gonna miss a meeting, am I?
You're the alternate. So if I miss the meeting because I'm here, you can't film, you can't film.
We both miss it.
We both miss it, yeah.
Is it me, or has our code enforcement official missed a couple of these meetings? I haven't seen Howie lately. Am I missing
No,
something?
he hasn't, he hasn't.
Because I do rely on his opinion. In essence, this
Yeah.
is being answered correct, and I thought he should be here. Maybe I'm wrong.
It was certainly nice to have him here.
Maybe he felt there was no business that he was involved in to participate in.
And it's not, it's not like an official thing, the code enforcement officers always just come to
Okay.
kind of assist the board. It's not like part of our
Okay.
It's not, I agree, it's very nice. I mean, he's a resource for sure. Because we don't know about the code, certainly.
Now, I also had a question. I read something about a trial run of this Zoom or whatever it is
Yes.
we're talking about.
Yes.
Was there one that I didn't
Yes.
get invited to,
No,
or?
you got invited. You just
I did?
didn't go. I emailed you.
I didn't see a date, though. I don't know. Maybe I missed it.
Sam and Vivian made it. I was late. The engineer can't, their internal protocol is not to attend in-person meetings. So they have to do something like, not Zoom, but something like that. So there's gonna be, it's a creative solution. There's gonna be laptops and,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So weren't the engineers not going?
not in person, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you tell them that?
I'll reach out to them, yeah, I'll reach out to them and let them know. We have to figure out how that's gonna work with Ellen and with,
But we're gonna still be here, like.
yes,
Okay.
we'll be here, they won't be.
Okay.
It's a bit kludgy, I agree.
Well, I sent a message saying I'm totally opposed
Yes.
to these meetings. Maybe that's why I didn't.
No, you were invited.
It might not-
I sent the email, I know you were
It
invited.
may not have come as email, it may have come as a meeting invitation, a meeting planner. Because it showed up on my calendar when I
But
accepted it.
but it was an email you accept, you opened an email from
Right.
them,
Yeah.
and then it was an invite you had to accept. It was Microsoft Teams they use.
I don't remember. How did
I
it
think
go?
your email
That's my
came first,
question.
though, right?
Very good.
My
Yeah,
email came
yeah.
first, yeah.
I've been on 3 of these meetings, none of which, all 3 were handled completely amateurish. And with, nobody knew who was talking, or did it work out pretty well, or? I see.
It worked, yeah, it worked fine. We had a little trouble with just the view setup, but the sound came through, it was a quibble, really. It wouldn't have affected, like, hearing them or interacting with them.
And how, what? Everybody, I was in one, but I don't have a microphone on my computer, so
I sat in
nobody heard what I
recently.
was saying.
They're gonna be at the workshop.
Yeah.
They're gonna be on the 28th, and that'll be another chance for us to kind of like, being a little lower key to go through it with them. I'll bring a laptop in. Said Sam, you could bring one in.
Yeah, I'll do that.
We'll have like 3 laptops up here and kind of,
We'll still be meeting here,
Oh,
but
yeah.
But they
they will be
won't be.
communicating through the computer with us.
Yeah. I think it's more for their convenience than the coronavirus, but anyway, that's,
it's their company policy there.
Yeah,
Whoever said
A
someone
lot,
said-
a lot of companies are, I can't go into my Albany office unless I get special permission. Because we've got, depending, some companies have people that are doing critical work for clients and they don't want them exposed by accident. So that it's not uncommon.
We're the only board I know of that meets in person, honestly.
I sat in on the Woodstock Planning Board a week or 2 ago because it was something, a topic of interest to me, and they did it very well. I think they used Microsoft Teams. Everybody had their camera on so you could see who was speaking. That's a really important part. It doesn't work very well if it's just a disembodied voice.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's
So they did a very nice job at Woodstock.
what they use, you said?
I'm pretty sure they use Microsoft Teams.
Everyone seems to like that a lot. It's nice too because it's
Microsoft-
native to most computers.
Microsoft
You know, I use
Teams,
WebEx,
Teams,
Teams, and
which
Skype.
is similar to Zoom.
Teams might be a hair better than WebEx.
Yeah.
Yeah, of the 3 is probably.
I know a lot of people, like corporate people, have switched they started using Teams and been
Yep.
happy with it. It doesn't trigger a lot of the firewall stuff too, and a lot of the security software that some of the external stuff does.
but you need a laptop with a camera and a microphone. Or do they all have it?
They all have it now,
all
as a matter of
microphones
fact.
do, yeah.
Well, that's okay. I have a laptop, so.
Like I said, we'll have
We can
I
hear you
don't,
with the mask.
Hmm?
We can hear you with the mask on.
it might get to be too much if everybody has one set up. I was worried about like weird feedback stuff happening.
That's possible, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking like, 2 up here and 1 over there,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe 1 for Ellen.
I will need one.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
So we should bring them on the 28th.
We should bring them on the 28th, and that'll be like our dress rehearsal, we'll call it. I don't know, that's what I got. I'm open to suggestions. Anybody?
How reliable is the Wi-Fi here?
It's pretty good, I think.
Yeah,
I use it every time I'm here.
mine's been going on and off for the last couple of days.
Well, there's been a lot of work around
Uh-huh.
here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what usually is the reason.
So is that all we have?
That's all I've got.
That's it, I guess.
Somebody, motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Good man.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Safety doctor's office?
Cliff? He needs to know where the
Oh,
date is.
sorry, that's from Orem.
Or,
Yeah, Maidstone.
I think they were the only ones left that
It hadn't,
we were waiting on, yeah.
just make sure they wrote it out right in their hand. See, everyone else probably just transferred money or they all know each other.
No, everybody was coming in with checks and I was like, oh, nope, I don't get them downstairs. And then I was bringing them downstairs and I was getting told, what do I do? A week off. Everybody wants to choose for coffee to everybody else and milk and stuff because I didn't know what to do with the checks. You know what I mean? It's like, but that has nothing to do with me, right, Cliff? I don't take the escrow money. It's an account that goes through the town. Am I correct? That's how it works, right?
That's what Rob said it would be handled down there, but they should know what they're doing with it.
Well, at first, they didn't, and I said, well, talk to Rob because you know, you're supposed to be handling it.
Did
I
they?
think that's what the agreement was. It would come to us and then we would pass it on.
Right, okay, that's
Yeah.
what I was doing with it, so I haven't heard anything since.
Okay.
Maybe you might want to reach out and ask them, you know, if that's all set up or whatever, because I haven't heard anything since they've gotten the other two checks. So like if bills and stuff come, I just submit it to the town and then it goes into the escrow? Is that how it
I
works?
honestly don't know. That's something the secretary has always just handled. We never
Yeah.
talk about money or,
So how do I find out about that?
Rob, the program, somebody should know.
Okay.
Sorry, Terry. I just don't know.
Come on, Cliff, you're supposed to know this for me. So you keep that or do I take it back?
No, I signed that.
Okay. Do you sign that letter?
I signed that, yep, you got that, put that in Howard's file.
And just a request, we'll see the notes for tonight before we have our next meeting.
Yeah, I was in question with my boss about the meeting stuff, and I will call those again.
Yeah, you can email us, that's perfectly fine.
So we're going to try and have a site visit before the workshop? Or I'm not sure yet.
Yes, yeah, no, we're still,